Three young lads, with nothing but their wits and a thirst for something more, set off on a daring adventure in a land ruled by the powerful. They are flawed souls who take what they can from those above them, leaving chaos in their wake. They are the Sons of Plunder.
The Sons of Plunder, push the tears, pull us under, house on fire, wild and free, in the ways of mystery. With the crew, bold and daring, saxophones echo through the night, starry skies, secret sharing underneath the pale moonlight. We're sailing on the Sons of Plunder, push the tears, pull us under, house on fire, wild and free, in the ways of mystery.
I don't want to do that. Why don't you do it?
I told you, 'cause I don't want to either.
One you bumpkins better do this, unless you're okay with shriveling up and dying of thirst.
Three young men debate one another within the midst of a forest thicket. A statement since the beginning of time that has never, not once, resulted in a gain for any parties involved. Incriminating the trio of boys further, they watch a woman making use of the king's road with a donkey-led cart alone.
Since you're so keen to do this a particular way, Tristan, go ask, or else I think me and Drake know what must be done.
Tristan inhales a deep well of breath in preparation of a verbal duel with his two traveling companions. He surrenders mid-intake and decides to expend his energy into something that may prove beneficial to himself. Pushing a blockage of thorny brush aside, the young man walks from the greenery and into the middle of the road to stand in the path of the woman and her cart. The woman with weathered hands urges the donkey to a slow with a gentle and caring tug of the reins. Crow's feet take form onto the corners of her eyes as she fixates on the livery Tristan wears on the linen collar draping over his chest. It bears the county's insignia, a yellow stripe with a single star above and below.
You're a deserter!
Tristan raises his hands with fingers fanned out, leather-clad palms facing the woman.
Cowards like you got no business walking around sucking in our country's air. Good men out there dying while mud water like you roaming the roads. A damn shame it is.
Lady, it's been a long few days, so if you could spare me the churlish routine, please. Look, I just want to get a few ladles worth of water, and I can be on my way.
The road woman's hand slips beneath a quilt on the cart's bench. From it, she withdraws a hefty, preloaded crossbow with a bolt large enough to put an uncomfortably sized hole into his body.
I'm not giving you a thing save for the business of this here bolt. If you got a god, I'll let you plead to him before I squeeze. Don't bother running neither. I'm an exceptional shot. At least, it's what my husband told me before riding off to war.
The woman's expression becomes one of an individual who has just come to a realization. Though her eyes glaze over and the corners of her weathered lips fall into steep downward curves, the finger on the trigger stiffens. Oh shit, Tristan thinks to himself. This can't possibly be how I die. But he's wrong. This is how anyone could die. So why not him? Tristan's attention is stolen by the huddled form of Drake piercing the tree line and approaching the woman beyond her peripheral like an Angora cat on the prowl. Bless that soul less, little ginger. Thus are Tristan's internal thoughts.
Well, wait, before you send me to our maker, what was your husband's name, perhaps? I knew the guy.
Hugon Alderman Tate, the fourth.
Wow, that's a name if he had ever heard one. In fact, he knows the face to this name. Hugon Alderman Tate. He knows this guy. A noble who led the Lynchian Pin Infantry. They called him Pinhead. It was as funny as it was then as it is now.
I know him! A noble. Had a head so bald you could eat off it. Small beady little eyes, too.
Cruel lines sink into her skin. Like forming fissures, they fracture a woman once whole. That finger begins to squeeze.
How'd you say? You talk so humorous of the man as if he were history. Funny how quickly a person can become history, isn't it?
Had! No, ma'am. Has a manly bald head is what I meant to say. I'm kinda sure he's still alive and well. Maybe.
We'll see how funny it is when you got this here bolt in your belly. We'll see who's smirking then.
Her trigger finger trembles as her eyes redden and swelter with tears. Tristan can't see anything other than his own short life flash before his eyes. She hardens her heart in an instant. The exasperation wash her over her face, through every earned age line she wears. It's ugly yet in some way beautiful. The complicated internal exchanges required to willingly take a life. The snap of a twig to the woman's flank tips her off to a more pressing situation. She and the crossbow pivots in place. Drake springs from concealment and shoves the stirrup to the wayside as she squeezes the crossbow's lever in a final moment of desperation. The bolt propels into the brush. Tristan reactively drops to the ground and shields his vitals.
Son of a bitch!
Jonald spills out from his place within the green, clutching the side of his face. Blood gushes from between his fingers and watering the foliage in a trickle of bright red hemoglobin.
Donald, you okay?
No! What are you? Stupid!
Tristan rises to a stand, his heart pounding like the thunderous hooves of gargantuan war horses on the battlefield. Twice, he's almost died in the last week. This second time isn't any easier than the first neither. His limbs are numb. If he were to move from this spot, he fears he may trip over himself.
Done pissing yourself, Tristan? When you are, help me rob this lady.
The woman's murderous intent is vanquished by fear. It rules her now, betrays her previous self. Drake decides he has the time to give the crossbow a quick once-over, before committing to keeping watch on the spiraling woman.
Please don't kill me. I was beside myself. Taken by the monsters these times, put into one. I beg for my children's sake, they not a father. Don't put them without a mother as well.
The road lady slows her breathing and composes herself to the best of her emotional ability. Her body language deflates into a state of sunken emotions.
Oh, come on, lady. We aren't gonna kill ya, but we are gonna rob you. Gently rob you. But you did shoot our commander and scared the other guy into a crisis. I say that's worth a refill on our water flasks, a few fish, and some of that mead you got. I think any court of law would say that's a fair ask for the emotional and physical damages you caused.
Bear my ass!
The woman buries herself into the palms of her hand when she begins to sob into them. Muffled cries and nasally sniffles kills the mood of things. Jonald, with the left ear clasped beneath the care of his palm, he shakes his head and rolls his eyes.
Yeah, no, maybe we just take some water and go.
Are you kidding me? Tristan, are you literally telling a joke right now?
No, I'm just saying we take what we need and get out of here.
Drake nods in Jonald's direction.
I was thinking it but wasn't gonna say it. But you're acting like a simpy McSimperton.
Are you too serious? I was the one who was against robbing the lady from the start, remember? Besides, I feel bad now, cause we did kinda get
Don't
her.
you finish that statement, mate. Besides, Jonald was the commander. If anybody got her old man killed, it was him.
Oh my god. Are you both actually this dumb?
The woman raises her head, strands of hair partially veiling her new mask. It's ugly. Her lips are receded and teeth clenched, with strands of spittle ejecting from the mouth as she laboriously inhales, exhales.
You got my Tate killed? You cowards! You brigands! You bent wafers!
She's got a knife now. Someone grab her.
The woman vaults from her perch like a banshee. The loose garment she wears flutters and still wings. Her wailing has a flock of birds fleeing, and the charge towards Jonald is a storm of flailing extremities anxiously, clawing and stabbing at his form. Jonald delivers a practiced right hook across her jaw. She's laid out with the dagger toppling across the uneven dirt road harmlessly. Her banshee transformation looks to be purely cosmetic after all.
Were you guys just gonna watch as she stabbed me to death? Were you even gonna try and stop her?
What did you want out of me? To put a bolt in her back? You dealt with it just fine.
Aren't we a flippant little bitch?
I made a lunge of it. She was too quick.
Am I to believe that a strapping young man fresh from the front line?
No sodomy, right?
Yes, Drake. No sodomy. Because that's what's important right now.
Yes.
Just forget it. What do we do now? We have an unconscious woman to add to this fiasco.
Just prop her back up on her carriage, take her stuff, and let's leave.
Yeah.
Sure.